Hey everyone, you ever feel like your time is just a leaky bucket? I mean, you're plugging away all day, but when you finally clock out, you're not even sure what you accomplished. Well, today we're finding those leaks. And spoiler alert, it's not the big meetings. It's all those tiny moments that just slip right through the cracks.
I mean, seriously, does this sound familiar? You've been busy, you've been in the zone, but you glance at the clock and bam, hours have just evaporated. Poof, gone. You're left standing there thinking, okay, but what did I actually get done? It's a feeling we all know, right?
Well, here's the thing. Your time isn't getting stolen in big, obvious chunks. Nope, it's getting shredded into these tiny, almost invisible pieces. Some people call it time confetti, you know? A minute here, waiting for your computer to unfreeze, 30 seconds there, getting distracted by a notification. Each little piece seems like nothing on its own.
But what if we could actually sweep up all that confetti into one big pile? What if we could take all that lost time and make it so visible, so tangible, that it's impossible to ignore anymore?
That is exactly where this really simple but kind of brilliant idea comes into play. It's basically a tool that shows you the damage with just 3 simple numbers. So let's break down what they are.
All right, so these are what we're going to call the 3 key levers of lost time. Let's dig into each one and see how they all work together to create the problem. First up, minutes lost per day. Now, we're not talking about that hour-long meeting that ran late. No, this is about all that little everyday friction. It's the 2 minutes you waste searching for a file you know you just saved. It's the minute your app takes to load. It's basically death by 1,000 paper cuts for your productivity.
Next, we've got our multiplier, workdays per month. Look, losing a few minutes might not feel like a big deal on any given Tuesday. But when you multiply that small daily loss by, say, 20 workdays in a month, well, that's when the true scale of the problem really starts to hit you. This is where it all adds up.
And finally, there's your rough hourly value. Now, this one's optional, but honestly, it's a total game changer. And this isn't just about your salary. It's about what an hour of your focused, uninterrupted work is actually worth. This is what turns lost time into a metric we can all understand: cold, hard cash. Okay, so what happens when we pull all 3 of these levers at once? You've got the tiny daily leaks, the frequency that makes them add up, and a way to put a price tag on the whole thing. What does the math actually show us? The calculation itself is surprisingly simple. You just multiply those daily lost minutes by your workdays. That gives you the total minutes lost in a whole month. Then you just divide that by 60 to turn it into hours. And that final number, that's where the story really gets interesting.
So let's run a quick and I think very realistic scenario. Let's say, and this is being pretty conservative, that you lose just 20 minutes a day to all that time confetti, and we'll use a pretty standard 20 workdays in a month. So, what does that actually cost you?
Almost 7 hours, 6.7 hours to be exact. That is nearly an entire workday every single month that has just vanished, gone, dissolved into all those tiny, harmless interruptions. Just let that sink in for a second. A full day of work lost. But wait, we're not done. Let's add that last, really powerful lever into the mix. What if you value your focus time at, say, a pretty standard $50 an hour? What's the real financial cost of those 6.7 lost hours? $335 every single month. That is the true cost of just a minute. See, it's not just time you're losing, it's real value, just disappearing right into the cracks of your day.
And this is what the final output looks like. It boils everything down to this one powerful, kind of unavoidable statement. Seeing it laid out so clearly, the hours right next to the dollar amount, it just completely reframes how you think about all those little moments of friction, doesn't it?
Look, the whole point of this isn't to make you feel bad. It's to empower you. Because once you can see the true cost of all that time confetti, you can actually start to reclaim it. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you can see it, what are you going to do about it?